This is the first autofocus lens from Brightin Star, the 50mm f1.4 for the Sony E Mount Apsc cameras. Let's talk about it. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on my channel. I'm VILTROX, a portrait photographer based in France, and in today's video I'm going to show you this lens, the 50mm 1.4 from Brightin Star for the Sony E Mount Apsc cameras. Brightin Star reached out and they asked me if I would like to try this lens. They sent it to me for free, but they didn't pay me. They don't have any input on the production of this video. But a quick spoiler, this lens is very good according to its price range. This one is one of the best quality lenses for this price range. Stay tuned. In this video you will see some footages with this lens as well as lots of photos taken with this one. This lens has a focal length of 50mm, which is equivalent to about 75mm on a full frame scale, and we have an aperture of 1.4, which is very wide. This aperture allows you to get more light into your sensor, to have brighter images and to have shallower depth of field with huge background blur, and this is one of the best focal length I can say and aperture for those who would like to start or to experiment street and portrait photography on a budget, because with this one, once again, I got great images. You're gonna see them at the end of this video. This lens is on sale right now. It's about $240 US, with the link down below. It's an affiliate link that I have with Brightin Star, and this lens you can find it now only for the Sony E Mount Apsc cameras, but it will soon be available for the Nikon Z mount as well as the Fuji X mount. I already have the Fuji X mount, by the way, that I'll be making a video about it later on, but this one here is for the Sony E Mount. So if you have a Sony E Mount camera, then you can go buy this one immediately. You can find it in the link down below. But if you have a Nikon Z mount Apsc or a Fuji X mount camera, you can find your suitable lens within weeks from now, whether for Fuji X or for the Nikon Z mount Apsc. Anyway, let us not talk a lot about the specs of this lens and go do some portrait photo shoot today in Reims with a beautiful Elodie here. You can find her Instagram in the description box. And by the way, I'll be shooting with this lens, the 50mm 1.4, along with the Sony a6700 on the side. A spoiler, I'll be shooting also with the Fujifilm X-S20, which is somehow the same category of the Sony, and with the 50mm 1.4, because Brightin Star will release also a version for Fujifilm, so that will be for an upcoming video on my channel. Ring the bell so you won't miss that video, and now sit back and enjoy this photo shoot.
3, 2, 1, talk to me.
Okay.
Talk to me.
Okay.
Three, two, one, talk to me.
Okay.
Talk to me.
Now I'm back to the studio. Let me share with you my thoughts and my opinions about this lens. The first thing I noticed is that it's heavy, about 440 grams without the lens cap and the lens hood. I wish it was a little bit lighter. The focus ring is very stiff. I wish it was smoother, but it's an autofocus lens. I will not use this one for autofocus. And we have on the back side these pins here, so I can exchange the EXIF data between the lens and the camera easily. We have a USB-C port for firmware update. We don't have the rubber gasket here, so this one is not weather sealed. Keep that in mind. And yeah, this is the first thing I noticed about this one. It was well balanced with my Sony a6700. nothing to say about it. During my photo shoot, I wanted to try this lens at its widest aperture to have the shallower depth of field and the most separation possible between the subject and the background. So I used this one at f1.4. I noticed that the autofocus was quite good if my subject is not moving. If my subject was moving slowly, then the autofocus can keep up with the speed of my subject, but when the subject was moving quickly, the autofocus couldn't keep up with, but I succeeded to have some nice shots, and this is totally acceptable because this lens, once again, it's about 240, 260 US dollars, and it's really cheap for what we can do with it. I tried this lens also for some video rushes. The autofocus was quite nice. I have great colors, very rich tones. I really like the results with this lens. The autofocus, once again, was perfect. I didn't have any focus hunting when I'm doing my videos with this one. It has a minimum focusing distance of 50 centimeters, which is equivalent to all the other lenses in the same category in the market. And if you succeed to have your autofocus done and nailed at 50 centimeters, you can get great images. This one is not a macro lens, but because you can go up to 50 centimeters close to your subject, you have a wide aperture 1.4, you can have a huge blurry background in the image, and that's really nice, especially for some flower shots, for some flower rushes as well. You cannot go wrong with it. 240 US dollars. Once again, this is really cheap. Overall, I really like this lens. The colors are really nice, the sharpness was good, and we cannot expect to have great sharpness if the subject is far away from the lens. That's for sure. That reminds me of my old VILTROX 56mm 1.4. I remember on that lens, if my subject was a little bit far from me, I cannot have good sharpness on his face, and we have somehow the same thing here. The VILTROX is about 300 US dollars. This one is about 240 US dollars. On the VILTROX we had lots of chromatic aberration back then. On this one I did not notice chromatic aberration on my shots, and that's something very important, because having those chromatic aberration means that you have to adjust your sliders on Lightroom to remove them, but we don't have any of those with this lens. So that's it for today. What do you think about this lens? Would you give it a try? Would you pay 240, 260 euros on such lenses, a 50mm 1.4 for the Sony E Mount Apsc cameras, and soon for the Nikon Z mount, as well as the Fuji X mount cameras? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know if you like the images that I took and the rushes with this lens in the comment section below. And thank you for watching. See you on another video. Ciao for now.